You have a road full of nail and you drive over the road, right?
Yep.
And you get a flat tire, right? If you don't remove those nails on those roads, you will be fixing tires after fixing tires after fixing tires.
Malaysia's holiday islands have a serious pollution problem to deal with, one that is connected to the excessive number of resorts and poor waste management. But the question then remains, how do you solve the problem? One solution that has been proposed is greater enforcement.
What should be done to monitor these illegal resorts? Like, what should be done to eradicate the problem?
Well, enforcement. Just go on the island and enforce, to make sure that these resorts comply with waste disposal. Overall, it falls under the purview of the local authority. When the plans are submitted for these resorts, it's for them to set these conditions before they give approvals.
So local authorities are supposed to make like regular visits to these islands to enforce this?
Yes, they have enforcement departments. Not only that, even at the stage of submitting these plans, it should already be determined already as far as the legal resorts are concerned. But illegal resorts, they must also ensure that there is enforcement. There are adequate budgets for them for enforcement. So they should act on it.
But the solutions go beyond enforcement alone. To deal adequately with the issue, many have proposed the idea of a centralised sewage system.
It's also important to have a proper facility on the islands itself. So this is where local authorities must work together and try to set up something, In fact, larger resorts that go in can actually even contribute. They can actually set up and manage that waste disposal system where these smaller resorts can also utilize. So that's also another option that they can consider.
According to one resort owner, an attempt was made to propose a centralized system, but with little response from the authorities.
About 10 years ago, there was an association called Perhentian Resort Operators Association, but it was set up under the small grants program, and it focused on waste management and environmental talks mostly. And in terms of a centralized sewage system, all the small to mid resorts have requested for it from the government, especially during these engagement sessions like town halls and all. But all of this had just been talk. People just talk and talk. They hold town halls, they hold this, they hold that, but nothing ever happens.
The land on the island is limited, very limited. So the best is we have proposed to do the centralized. That means every resort, they have sewage system. If the authority can come up with a path, then when you go in the system, you could make a centralized. Let's say on my area got a few resorts.
Yes.
Then centralized at one place. Then treated there over maybe the government land. You cannot encroach the government and simply do the sewage treatment. So the authority may step in to do that and help us out. That is the best law. We do mention to the Majlis police people. We do.
Okay.
Maybe they, I don't know. Maybe the government find it's a bit troublesome to work on the island and all this because it of course, it's quite difficult.
Resort owners aren't the only people who have been working to solve the problem. According to an official from Indah Water Consortium in Kelantan and Terengganu, the sewage company presented a proposal to the National Water Services Commission, or SPAN, to obtain the budget for a sewage treatment plant under the 10th Malaysia Plan for the Redang and Perhentian Islands. The proposal included design and capacity details, as well as a location strategy. But the plan's budget has been pending approval for some time, having been brought forward to the 11th and now 12th Malaysia Plan. When contacted, an official from the Sewage Services Department, or JPP, said that progress on the sewage treatment plant was still at the planning stage. However, the official declined to provide a timeline for completion, reiterating that since nothing has been finalized, including the land for the plant, it was difficult to project a completion date. Enforcement and new facilities are ways of dealing with the symptoms of environmental degradation. But on a deeper level, the solutions lie within the law itself. According to lawyer Sahadeva, laws covering water quality issues are very fragmented. Different laws deal with different issues under different ministries. There's also the issue of federal versus state power, with the state's authority over land matters holding above federal government policies. In order to truly deal with the problem, lawyer Sahadeva argues that constitutional amendment is needed. Through an amendment, environmental protection will rest upon a more secure legal foundation, as a right that is protected under the Constitution. Enforcement, renewed sewage systems, and legal reform. These suggestions indicate that solutions do exist to remedy the state of affairs on Malaysia's holiday islands. Yet, as compelling as these ideas are, none of them can make any impact unless they are actualized through sincere and constant effort. Though it's easy to see the role of authorities, it's much harder to see the role that we play as a part of both the problem and the solution. Will we support efforts to prevent environmental degradation, or will we sit back as idle spectators, absolving ourselves of any personal responsibility? If we choose the former, we may witness a sea change, a return to a more balanced relationship with the ocean and the creatures who inhabit it. If we choose the latter, the efforts to end pollution will suffer the same fate as the degraded coral reefs on the east coast. Faded images of brilliance dead in the water.